Hey guys, Nestler Magic here, and separately from the story, Wizards was nice enough to post in two separate articles, just a giant lore dump, basically, of the new plane Kaldheim, especially since it's a new plane. Now, I think for Ravnica they did one, and I'm like, this is the third time we've been there. But there is some really cool stuff in here, so if you're a lore monkey like me, but lore enthusiasts already had their own nickname. Shut up, you're lore monkeys. Reject Vorthos, embrace monkey. So I'm just going to buzz through this because these articles are really, really long. And I'm just going to give you like the Spark Notes version just so you know what this place is, how it works, who lives there, and you know what the realms are and just all that basic stuff. So that really the cards make sense. So first up, there's 10 realms, and they're all attached to the World Tree. Now, believe it or not, it says the World Tree was born from a seed. Okay. Whether that's true or completely manufactured by the residents is a different story, but that seed grew into the World Tree and everything else grew from it. Its leaves were every color imaginable, and its branches spread out. They became worlds themselves, and once there were 10 strong branches, fruit grew on the branches. And those were the Cosmos monsters. The serpent was the firstborn, and he has been growing since before the beginning of time, which is, a violation of the laws of physics, but sure. So the Cosmos creatures were, born with the tree and born outside the realms. And then you got the realms. One is on each branch. So are they like individual planes or what's going on there? Well, it is one big plane, but they're treated and kind of act like mini planes. I guess it's kind of like the Shards of Alara, except they had like a good reason that the plane shattered, I assume. I don't know what that reason is, but it split apart into like multiple planes, but not really. It was just pieces of planes. Well, these are, separate plane juniors, but they're still all attached to the tree, which is, I guess, moderately interplanar. But you could say that the tree is the plane, and then the realms are just like little subplanes. Depends how you look at it. The cool thing is, from every single realm, you can look up in the sky and see the rest of the branch that your realm is hanging on. Now, the weirdest thing in this entire article is where it says there are other realms outside of the 10 in Kaldheim, but it's not time for their story. Yeah, they left the door open for a sequel. Great. But, where are they? Well, how are they not on branches? Are they just floating? Did they fall? Did they fall off the tree onto the ground? Are they rotting? Are they on the roots? Are they on a different tree? I'm not buying it. Unless they're just everybody knows they're there, but they're closed off and they can't travel to them for some reason. I think that's leaving the door open for a sequel a little too hard, if you know what I mean. So no matter what realm you're in, you can see Starnheim, or at least the light from it. That's the Hall of the Valkyries. It's where you look up in the sky and you get like that, what do they call that? Not aura, there's a term for it. Corona? No. I know the nickname is Sun Ring, but then also you get like this weird sun dog effect where you can also see like individual suns. So it's basically just lens bent light. So the residents of some of the realms can cross between the cosmos, basically, which is the inter-mini planar space. It's a bunch of shifting lights like an aurora, so it's not like, oh, I'm on the tree branch, let's walk down the tree. But anyway, some of them with really good talented magic can open portals between them and travel between them. However, we found out in the latest chapter of the story, which you should check out, it's my other video, that planeswalkers, or at least Kaya, cannot naturally planeswalk between the realms, which I am very skeptical of and makes no sense. So the Cosmos monsters, which usually take the form of, just whatever, wolf, eagle, of course, the snake, they're apparently hyper-intelligent. The theory is they are aware of things that haven't even happened yet on the timeline, and even the gods are pretty impressed by them. Like, they've tried to kind of hunt them down and, gain some knowledge from them. By the way, not all of them are large. There's Toski the squirrel, who is about the size of a squirrel. There's this wacky theory that some of them might be larger than the World Tree, but the Cosmos Serpent isn't. And he was the firstborn, but like I said, they vary in size, so who knows? Oh, and by the way, the Cosmos Serpent, they're not sure how big he is because he can split himself into multiple smaller pieces that can move independently around the World Tree. So there's this whole big thing with the elves when the Skoti overthrew the Einir gods and locked them up. They're like, I bet the Cosmos Serpent is going to be a problem. Like, he'll try to unimprison the Einir gods. And so they use magic to block Koma, which is his name, the serpent dude, from entering any realm at all. Yeah, interrealmer magic from extra realmer sources. That sounds realistic. But the going theory is that this wasn't necessarily a good thing and that Koma kind of likes to visit the realms once in a while. So his agitation might be kind of, shaking the tree, causing the dangerous increase in doom scars, which is when two realms smash together and hordes of enemies can travel between them freely without advanced magic. I guess for every god, there's a god weapon, and those let you navigate and traverse the cosmos. Otherwise, if you just get thrust into the cosmos yourself, you ain't gonna find your way out, and there's no food or water, so good luck. However, with them branches shaking around in, I don't know, I'll say the wind, sometimes when the realms move around because the branches are moving around, they open omen paths between the realms. And then you can go visit each other. Isn't that nice? So when an omen path is discovered, and some of them are just like, oh, look at that shimmering portal, and others are like, oh, it's way down in this cave tunnel thing. But once they know about them, really powerful mages can close and reopen them at will. But it's not all good news, because if you find a new omen path, that could be a precursor to two realms kind of smashing into each other, overlapping a little bit, and causing a doom scar. Oh, and it's not just like, oh, look, here comes an invading army because they're evil. The Doomscar causes a violent explosive event marked by world-altering earthquakes and geological destabilization. That sounds great. And then it says, quote, inevitably the inhabitants of the overwhelming realms come into conflict. I blame the elves. They're really, really, really arrogant dicks. Literally no intelligent living being could get along with those stupid elves on any plane, anywhere. I hope they all die. So, gods are gods because they, I guess, drink the cosmos elixir. So, that explains why they just look like some people. And they're immune to the disorienting effects of the cosmos if they're traveling between them, but it's still a bit hard to just straight up say, I'm going to walk between them. So, a lot of them prefer to use omen paths or, magic, artifacts, their own weapons, whatever. Oh, and omen seekers can paint a bunch of cool runes on a boat and just be like, okay, now we're going between planes. Or realms, I should say. Oh, by the way, I think I misspoke. They aren't all elves who overthrew the original Ainur gods. We only, I think for sure, know that one or two of them were, but the family of gods, not all elves, is called the Skoti. And they replaced the ancient Ainur gods a few centuries ago. So the original gods, in theory they were the original ones, allegedly drew their godlike powers from their connection to Koma, the snake. But the new replacement gods just get their powers from the Cosmos Elixir, created by Esika, the god of the World Tree. So that slows their aging, gives them their supernatural powers, gives them, the ability to understand and pass through the cosmos without going nuts. But it sounds like, and definitely in my opinion, they are not true gods. So the new gods, the Skoti, are incredibly powerful, but they are also selfish, prone to bickering, and constantly causing trouble in the realms. So what is this Tyrite stuff? Well, it's a glass-like substance made from the sap of the World Tree, even though when you cross between realms you don't see a tree, you just see a bunch of lights. I still don't really get that. So I guess it's a type of amber then, because I think sap hardens into amber over time. But because it's from the World Tree and the cosmos are all shiny and aurora-ish, it's, well, you've seen the pictures, it's funky colored. So the gods may be able to handle the material safely, but direct contact with Tyrite is quite dangerous for mortals and may cause the following symptoms. Death. That is all. So you ever wonder why the gods glow with some weird aurora light when they're, I don't know, not capable of or bothering to hide it? It's because they drank the Cosmos Elixir made by Esika. So certain things on their body, tattoos, just their aura, their magic, their eyes, whatever, it looks like these aurora colors because they keep drinking the elixir. So let's meet the troublemakers. First up, we've got Alrund, the god of wisdom. Apparently he, quote, won his extensive knowledge by battling the cosmos monsters. Well, you, kill them and then gain their knowledge? He must be pretty smart then. They're virtually all-knowing, transcending time, so... Alright. Then we got Dane, or Redane, I don't know. The god of justice. It's a youthful, arrogant, fanatical, and fully committed to the cause of justice god. If you ask Redane what they want for breakfast, they'll just reply, justice. Then we've got Halvar, the god of battles. He's selfish, stalwart, unwavering, and almost the most sensible person in any room. Really? Really? He wants to go to war with everybody and he's like the god of war and he's the most sensible person in the room? I mean, that's what they said about John Bolton, but that turned out to be bullshit. That guy's a lunatic. Then we have Egon, of course, from Ghostbusters, but also the god of death, and he's one of the oldest of the gods, but he ages backwards. He has the appearance and the bitter negative attitude of a teenage boy. Oh, that's hilarious. Somebody done screwed up some magic. You don't normally age backwards. Boy, they're going to be in trouble when he's a toddler. Then we've got Torelf, the god of thunder. He's a fearless risk-taker with a passion for wild feats and saga-worthy adventures. So probably Thor. I'm sure these all have analogs, to be honest. Then we got Birgi or Birgi. I don't know. Pronunciation key would be nice. He's the god of boasting, fun-loving and charismatic. She is always the center of attention as she travels across the realms. Well, we've got a new Let's Do Shots girl, and it is officially Birgi. Then we've got Cosima, the god of the sea, who was born a cosmos monster. And then they just brush over that. How did that happen? How is she in humanoid form now? How did she become a god? How would a cosmos monster drink a cosmos elixir? What would happen there? What the hell is going on? Nobody knows. Is that not such a comic book thing to do where they just say this blatantly crazy thing and then just go right past it and never acknowledge trying to explain it? Anyway, then there's Tergrid, or in other languages, Tegrid for some reason. The god of fear. He's an accomplished warrior whose shadow has a terrifying life of its own. See, what does that mean? Is it sentient? Is it separatable? Is this a Peter Pan situation? Does that one girl in Peter Pan, Wendy, is that who it is? Does she have to sew it back on his feet? Which also sounded horrible. Like, seriously, I was watching one of those movies. I'm like, she's going to sew it directly to his skin with no anesthetic? What the hell? I could barely watch it. She just gets out like a mundane earth needle. This ain't no magic needle. She's stabbing him in the damn foot, and he's just acting like that ain't shit. I found it very traumatizing. So, I mean, this might have well have said, his shadow has a terrifying life of its own. It's magic. I ain't gonna explain shit. It just does. We just said it because it sounds cool. What, you expect us to explain it? Shut up. No, go away. Then we've got Valky. Now, see, this is interesting because I've only read chapter 2, but to me, it sounded like he was just impersonating a god. But no, it says Valky is the god of lies, vain and selfish. He causes no end of trouble for the other gods. On purpose, of course. But see, is he a true god? Is he just like, oh, I'm using this illusion to pretend that I glow in these colors and hi, I'm a god. And then when it drops, he's just like, no, I'm just, regular old planeswalker. Or did he get a hold of the Cosmos Elixir? Because he already has a hold of the sword made of magic tree amber, whatever I said it was called. I don't know. Boy, giving him godlike powers would be interesting. But I thought he was faking it, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he's on the list just because people bought into his story, so they put him on the list. And he's still not actually a true god. Next up, everybody's favorite, Essika the Enabler. Yes, I added that ending. She's the god of the world tree, and she creates the Cosmos Elixir that causes all these douchebags to think they're hot shit. And lets the gods maintain their supernatural power. Boy, she must really lord that over them. I would just take all the elixirs and be like, sorry, ain't no more, and then just go hide somewhere. Because it sounds like these people are just generally awful. So then we've got Kolvori, the god of kinship. Talkative and exuberant, she cares deeply about the fate of her divine family. Well, sounds like so does Essika. Maybe Kolvori is the one telling Essika to, keep making the potion, And finally, we have Jorn, the god of weather. He is an exceptional tracker who knows the swiftest, safest paths across and between the realms. So speaking of realms, we've got Brettagard. First up, that's the human realm. There's 5 human clans who are in perpetual conflict because humans gonna human. So Brettagard is home to the Feltmark region, the Beskir region, let's see, what else? Kirda Seas, probably some other places. I have a theory that it's the default landing place for planeswalkers, and then from there they have to travel to the other realms manually, but that hasn't been officially proven. It's just been suggested. This, of course, is the home to like the Omen Seekers and the Vedrune Wizards and just all kinds of stuff. Well, this actually goes on for a while. So we've got the Skel Meyer, and then also just the Skel, which is, the people who live around there. And they were once a band of violent outcasts from, I guess, one or more of the other areas, or clans or whatever. Hey, wait a minute. They took the worst criminals and probably political dissidents also, and threw them out, and they formed their own hyper-powerful raiding adventuring style clan. Wow, that's literally Exile 1, 2, and 3. The greatest RPG games ever made by mankind. If you're going to say no, actually no, you're wrong. They are the best RPGs ever made. I have played hundreds of games. Exile 3 is the greatest game ever made. And Exile 2, I played it like 75% of the way through. I'll be honest, it's a little sketch. Haven't actually played one. So who made the Skel clan even worse? Veragoth, a demon who escaped from Immersturm. He was banished back to Immersturm, but, the Skel still learned some tricks. Well, in fact, the gods battled him for a month, which, what the hell? How is his demon as powerful as 10 gods, or however many, I wasn't counting. It's probably 11 with discount Loki, but anyway, wow, this guy must be powerful. And then they put up some wards, or repaired them, or something, that keep the Immersturmians in Immersturm, where they belong, because they're awful. Oh, and now everybody hates the Skel. So there's the Tusk Mountains, and then there's the Tuskeri, who I assume live there. They like to do dangerous stuff and then brag about it because they're idiots. Then we got the Aldergard. That's an ancient forest of yew and pine and deciduous trees. The Kenna clan lives in that forest, but they like to be semi-nomadic and explore. They were cursed by the gods, allegedly, or some god, because if they try to leave their little forest, they will just be snowed on, and then snowed on even more, and then snowed on even more until they return. So the gods have magic that powerful to cast permanent, ongoing, perpetual magic, but it took all, who the hell knows many of them, to take down one demon from one realm. Really? You ever heard of the spell Turn to Frog? Okay, I turned an Eldrazi into a frog once. Come on, that's an avatar of an Eldrazi Titan. I think I've turned, the majority of Liliana's demons into frogs before. It's just, frog powers cannot be denied. Where's the blue aligned god guy? I'm going to teach him the Turn to Frog spell. It's like 2 mana. So anyway, the Kana are led by Finn the Snake Hunter, that poison-wielding who is the only human to have ever managed to wound the Cosmos Serpent. And that's almost the end of it, but let me just point out a glaring plot hole big enough to drive a Cosmos Serpent through. Finn the Snake Hunter is alive currently. He is a human, and he's in the storyline now. When the Scoti overthrew the old gods and then had a little, Cosmos Elixir Chugathon, and all got godlike powers, probably not in that order. They probably needed godlike powers to overthrow the old gods, but whatever. They use magic to keep the Cosmos Serpent from entering any of the realms. And then in Finn the Snake Hunter's human lifetime, thousands of years later, I believe it said hundreds of years later, he fought and wounded the Cosmos Serpent, who is unable to get into their realm, and he is unable to travel into the cosmos without going crazy and starving to death. There's a couple century difference in timelines and cause and effect here. So I guess to clean it up, we're just going to have to ban Finn the Snake Hunter from every format and pretend he doesn't exist because he doesn't make sense canonically in the lore. Oh well. So finally, the Cursed and Cursing. When the Scoti, aka the new crew of gods, defeated the Ainir, the Kana were hopeful that their curse might be lifted. Oh wow, it went on that long, damn. And they pled their case to the new reigning gods. But the Scoti were busy with their own boasting and squabbling and paid no attention to the cries of the Kana, so the curse lingers. You leave the forest, you get dumped on by snow. Deal with it. The forest is nice. What are you going to do? Go into the Tusk Mountains? They're awful. What's wrong with the forest? But thanks to their ill treatment at the hands of divine beings, the Kana despise anything related to the gods, including the Cosmos monsters. They believe that killing the Cosmos Serpent will give them enough power to rise up and destroy the Scoti. Well, apparently you kill them, you gain their knowledge, I guess. So it'll end the curse at last and claim Starnheim for themselves. When in reality, they use Mega. In fact, everybody hates them, and they're going to be banned from everything. So screw those cursed assholes. I'm sure whatever they did to bring down the curse, they deserved it. So that's it for part 1 of your lore guide to Kaldheim. I keep saying Kaldheim. It's Kaldheim. It's 2 syllables. Kaldheim. This isn't hard, Des. I blame Kaladesh, which I'm sure I literally called this plane a couple times in this video. And you know what? People who say realtor instead of realtor drive me absolutely insane. Do you see the letter I in the word realtor? Because I don't see it. Hopefully somebody signs an executive order pretty soon, making it illegal to say realtor in public as well as mispronounce the word coupon. Every time somebody says coupon, I hope they get struck by lightning immediately. So anyway, this has been your part 1 guide to Kaldheim. Thanks for coming along, you lore monkey bastards, and I will see you guys next video.